Hello, my wonderful people, and thank you for joining this lesson. This is STEM Made Familiar. In this video, going to revise Kjsea Mathematics 2025. Without saying much, let's dive into the questions. Number 1 reads, a packet contains number cards, self-picked cards with numbers 2, 4, 5, and 9 from the packet. Which of the following sets has prime numbers only? So you want prime numbers only. Know that a prime number is a number that has only 2 factors, that is 1 and itself. So looking at the option, Nona A iko na 2 and 4, 4 is not a prime number, and therefore option A and option C are the odd one out. They are not the answers. So we remain with B and D. When you look at 9, 9 has more than 2 factors. We have 1, we have 9 divided by 3, we have 3, and also 9. So we have 3, and therefore 9 also is not a prime number. So we remain with B, and therefore for number 1, the answer is B. 2 is a prime number, and 5 is also a prime number. Very easy. Number 2, we continue. There are 120 boys, 180 girls, and 24 teachers in a school. The school formed groups with equal numbers of boys, girls, and teachers. What is the largest number of groups formed? So many students will fail this question because when they hear largest, they think it is LCM. Remember, we are dividing these boys, girls, and teachers into equal number of groups. This means that each group must have the same number of boys, girls, and teachers. So we are dividing. Basically, when you hear, anytime you're dividing a quantity, it is GCD, because GCD is greatest common divisor. So we are dividing this into groups. So tutatumia GCD and not LCM. And therefore, our work is to get GCD of 120, 180, and 24. So we write here 120, 120. Here we have 180, and here we have 24. So we look for a number that can divide both 3 numbers. So we start with 2. So 120 divided by 2 is 60. 180 divided by 2, 90. 24 divided by 2, 12. We continue by 2 again. So 60 divided by 2, we get 30. 90 divided by 2, we get 45. 12 divided by 2, we get 6. Now we cannot use 2 because 45 divided by 2 cannot divide 2. You get a decimal number. So we go to 3. So we divide by 3. 30 divided by 3, it is 10. 45 divided by 3, 15. 6 divided by 3, it is 2. So when we reach here, we don't have a number that can divide both 10, 15, and 2. So we stop there. So the largest number will be is 2 times 2 times 3. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. And therefore, the largest number of groups formed is 12. For number 2, the answer is A. Number 3, the temperature of a deep freezer was negative 8 degrees Celsius. The deep freezer was adjusted and the temperature was increased by 15 degrees Celsius. What was the temperature of the deep freezer after it was adjusted? So initially the temperature was negative 8 degrees Celsius, ilikuwa negative 8 degrees Celsius. Wameongeza by 15. So kama kuongeza, we add, so plus 15 to get the final temperature. Very easy. Negative 8 plus positive 15, it will be positive 7 degrees Celsius. And therefore, the answer is C. For number 3, the answer is C. Very, very easy. Let us look at the next question, number 4. Kamau intended to plant 70 seedlings. He allocated 1/5 of an hour to plant each seedling. During the planting, he took 1/4 of an hour to plant each seedling. Which of the following calculations will give the extra time Kamau used to plant all the seedlings? Very easy. Our work is to understand and interpret this question. There's a person called Kamau, akona 70 seedling. Alikuwa ameallocate 1/5 of an hour. So initially, he was to use 1/5 of an hour. So you can change this into minutes to see. So very easy. You multiply by 60 because in 1/5 of an hour, you change into minutes, multiply by 60. You can see 1/5 times 60, it is 12 minutes. And then during the planting, he took 1/4. So wakati anapanda, akachukua 1/4 of an hour. So during the planting, the actual planting, 1/4, you can change also to minutes so that you can see. Akapata ni 15 minutes. Each seedling kamoja. So alikuwa ameallocate 12 minutes apande seedling moja, lakini on the actual planting akachukua 15 minutes. So the extra time, very easy. Extra time, you can see it is the difference between the two. Alikuwa apande na 1/5 lakini amechukua 1/4. That is alikuwa apande na 12 minutes lakini amechukua 15 minutes. So the extra time, it will be the difference between the two. Since here we have in terms of fraction, tutachukua in terms of these numbers. So tutachukua ni the difference between the two. It will be 1/4 minus 1/5. Naelewa hapo? Then this is for one seedling. Remember, this is for one seedling because hapa nasema each seedling. So there are 70 seedlings. So to get the total time will be, hii ni ya moja, time ya moja it is 1/4 minus 1/5, na alikuwa na 70, so multiplied by 70. So looking at the options, we can see the correct option is D. Therefore, the answer is D. Very, very simple. We continue to number 5. I hope you're following. A grade 9 teacher had flashcards containing questions on indices. Kirui picked a flashcard containing the question 2 power x multiplied by 2 power 3 is equals to 32. What is the value of x in the equation? So that is very easy. You can see we have base 2, here we have 32. The first step is to write 32 in terms of base 2. It is simple. You know that if you take 2 power 3 in your calculator, 2 power 3 is 8. If you continue, 2 power 4 is 16. If we continue, 2 power 5, we get 32. So where we have 32, we put this number, 2 power 5. I hope you're following. So we rearrange now our equation. Sorry for that. We rearrange our equation. So our equation will be, here we have 2 power x multiplied by 2 power 3 is equals to 32. Tumepata ni 2 power 5. Remember again, anytime you have two numbers with the same base, the loss of indices, for example, a power m multiplied by a power n is equals to, you pick one base, it is a, then you add the power. So it will be m plus n. I know you know this. So here we come, you pick one base, it will be 2. Then you add the powers, itakuwa ni x plus 3. So 2 into x plus 3 is equals to, here we have 2 power 5. So when the bases are the same, you can see 2 and 2. This means that also the powers are the same. So equate the powers. So kama base ni same, pia powers ni same. So tutasemaje? X plus 3 is equals to 5. So you continue here on the right. X plus 3 is equals to 5. So what is x? Take positive 3 to the right, na minus, it will be 5 minus 3. Then x, you can see it is 2. And therefore the answer is C. Very, very easy. Number 6, we continue. The total number of animals in Kjesea's farm is 26. There are X donkeys in the farm. The number of goats in the farm is twice the number of donkeys. The remaining animals are sheep. Which of the following represents the number of sheep in the farm? So very, very easy. You can see ujama kona wanyama wote ni 26. Donkeys are X. Tuanze na donkeys. So donkeys ngapi ni X. Then akona goats. Goats ametambia ni ngapi? Twice. Very easy. Twice kisikia inamaanisha aje? Twice it is inamaanisha ni 2 times. So kama donkeys ni X, goats takuwa 2x. So it is 2 times X. So it is 2x. Then now tunataka sheep. So sheep, wanyama wote ni 26. Tuko na donkey X, goats 2x. So sheep will be, na wote ni 26. So ukiadd hizi mbili, X plus 2x. So you add these two. Donkeys and goats will be, the sum will be 3x. So to get the number of sheep, it is very easy. Wanyama wote ni 26, so itakuwa ni 26 minus the sum of these two. So 26 minus 3x. And therefore, you can see the answer is A. For number 6, the answer is A. Kama uko na swali, let me know. So we continue to number 7. A school is planning to transport X number of learners for drama festivals. For cost efficiency, the school has to transport at least 30 learners, but less than 50 learners. Which of the following inequalities represent the above information? So anytime you hear the word at least, very important. So ukiambiwa, for example, go and call for me at least 10 students. So at least inamaanisha aje? So you have at least and at most. So at least 10 inamaanisha aje? The least number should be 10 and above. So unaanza na 10 ukipanda. So unataka 10 students, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So at least namaanisha it will be greater or equal to. So nataka number 10, 11 kupanda. So it is greater or equal to. So when here at least 30. So at least 30. At least 30. Namaanisha aje? 30 students and above. 30, 31, 32 and so on. So it is greater or equal. So it is greater than or equal to. Let the number of students to be x. So I want x will be at least 30. So itakuwa x is greater or equal to 30. Hiyo ni equation ya kwanza. Kwa umeelewa at least. So don't forget. So at least inamaanisha hiyo number kupanda juu. So hii ni ya kwanza, equation 1. Then but less than 50. So tumesema x number of learners. So x it is less than 50. X is less than 50. So this is the second inequality. So our work is to combine. We want a combined inequality. So anytime you're combining, make sure that these signs are facing on the left. And utafanya aje? Very easy. So if you have, for example, 7 is greater than 2. This ni ukweli. You can rearrange this useme aje? 2 is less than 7. Just flip. 2 inaenda chini, 7 inaenda juu, and you change the sign in a face sasa chini. So equation 1 itakuwa aje? Utaanza na 30 is less than or equal to na flip x. Tumefanya ya kwanza. And then here we have x also. Tutaandika tena because here we have x and then say x is less than 50. This is the combined inequality. Coming to the options, we can see the answer is D. 30 is less or equal to x, which is less than 50. For number 7, the answer is D. Very, very easy. Number 8, we continue. Learners presented the results of 2 teams in a football league using the matrix. You can see the matrix is here, very long numbers. Here the numbers are here. What is the order of the matrix? Easy. So anytime you hear about the order, anytime unaulizwa order, just remember RC. What is RC? R is the number of rows, C is the number of columns. Rows ni gani? Rows ni hizi zinaenda hivi. So these are the rows. And then these are the columns. Hizi zimesimama. Let me use another pen. So hizi ni columns. So hizi zimesimama ni columns, 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 and so on. So our work is to count. So tunahesabu, inapotea inaenda wapi? So tuanze na rows. How many rows do we have? Kwenda hivi, ni row moja, tuna row mbili. So it is a 2 by, so we use multiplication. How many columns? Hizi zimesimama, tuhesabu pamoja. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is a 2 by 5 matrix. Very, very easy. Hii niliona watu wakisema, maths ilikuwa ngumu. I wonder. This is very easy, very straightforward and simple mathematics. Number 9. The width of a door is 0.91 meter. The door is opened through an angle of 72 degrees. What is the length which the tip of the door sweeps through? Very simple also, number 9. For the purpose of this revision, going to have a picture here so that you can understand and visualize. So the width is 0.91. Here we have our door. So niuliza ni ya kwenda wapi? So this is the width of our door. So you can say from here to here, you have 0.91. So in the width yetu. So from here all the way to there, 0.91 meters. So ikafunguliwa. So ikifunguka inakaa hivyo. Tuongeshe juu kidogo so that you can see clearly. So this is the door, the same door. So remember the width is here. From here to here, it was 0.91 meters. Ikafunguliwa, so the tip is here. So this is the distance traveled by the tip of the door to there. So remember again here, it is 0.91 meters. And the angle tumepatiwa, the angle was, let us remember, the angle was 72 degrees. So it is a very simple question. So the angle here, katikati hapa, is 72. If I extract this, I draw it here. Inakaa hivi, it is a sector. It is a sector. So that is the distance traveled by the tip of the door. This is 0.91 meter, 0.91 meter, and the angle here is 72 degrees. So I want this is the distance. This is the arc length from A to B. If I call it A and B, toka hapa hadi hapo inaitwa arc length. So what is the formula? Very, very simple. Know that arc length AB of the distance. So AB will be theta, angle ya katikati, theta over 360 times 2 pi r times 2 pi r. So what is theta? Theta is 72 degrees over 360 times 2 times pi. Tumeambiwa tutumie pi gani? Unasema tutumie pi, use calculator for value of pi. So pi tutumia calculator. So don't use 12/7. So times pi times r. This is the radius, 0.91. 0.91. I hope you can see. So 0.91. Pick a calculator. Let us work together. Chukua calculator yako. Inya hiyo 72 over 360 times 2 times pi. Andika pi calculator. Unafanya shift na hiyo namba iko hapo yenye iko na pi times 0.91. You will see the answer is what is the answer? Confirm yours. I want to see. Mine is very big. Let me check again. So when you multiply, you'll see the answer is 1.1435 meters. So let's go back to our question. So you can see we have 5.72, 1.14, 0.57, 2.52. So the nearest is ours is 1.1435, and therefore the nearest is B, and therefore the answer for number 9 is B. We continue to number 10. A water bucket is cylindrical in shape. The diameter of the bucket is 40 centimeter. The bucket is filled with water up to a height of 42 centimeter. It is the surface area of the bucket in contact with the water. You can see hapa nimeline pi, tumetumia pi for number 9, lakini ina shida. The answer is B. So we continue to number 10. This is a very easy surface area. So here we have a bucket. Tunachora bucket yetu hapa, a structure, a sketch. So here we have a bucket in shape of a cylinder. So inakaa cylinder. So the diameter is 40, and is filled with water up to a height of 42. So maji imefika, maybe can say somewhere here. Height is 42. So height is 42 from here all the way to here. It is 42 centimeter. We want the surface area of the bucket in contact with the water. So surface area of the bucket in contact with the water. So hii maji imeshika wapi? Imeguza chini. So the surface area will be, it is very easy. Surface area will be area of the bottom. Hii maji imeguza hapa chini. Na hii shape ni nini? A circle. Plus imeguza hapa katikati. So katikati inaitwa nini? Curved surface area. So area of the bottom shape ni circle, so it is pi r squared. So this is pi r squared plus curved surface area. Here katikati, in a curved surface area of a cylinder, we know that it is pi dh. So it is pi dh. So what is r? Remember, diameter is 40, and therefore when you want to radius, you divide by 2, radius itakuwa 20. So tumeambiwa pi tutumia calculator. So unasema pi times r it is 20, then we square. Plus pi again, calculator, times d ni diameter, now it is 40, times height, maji imefika wapi? 42 centimeters, so multiplied by 42. So pick a calculator, let us work together. So pi, nya shift na hiyo, times 20 squared, you'll see it is 1256.63, 1256.63, plus hii ingine itakuwa ni sheet na times 40 times 42 kwa 5277.87, 5277.87. So we add these two, so 1256.63 plus the answer, you'll see it is 6534 point, here we have 505. 1 to 2 decimal place, you can see the answer is given to 2 decimal place, so you round off. So 1, 2, tunaangalia next, tuna add 1, so it is approximately to 6434.51. Therefore, for number 10, the answer is C. Endelea number 11. Number 11, endelea. The packet of milk is in the shape of a cuboid. The length of the packet is 8.5 centimeter, the width is 5 centimeter, and the height is 12 centimeter. This is the capacity of the packet in liter. So shape ni cuboid, tunajua volume yake ni nini, very easy. It is length times width times height. So our work is to multiply. The length is 8.5, so 8.5 centimeter, this is how you can centimeter, multiply by 5, multiply by 12. We multiply this 8.5 times 5 times 12. You'll see it is 510. So it is 510 centimeters, cubic centimeter. We want capacity in liters. Very easy. So remember, 1 liter. So you can work here. 1 liter is equals to 1,000 cubic centimeter. So what about 510? So centimeter unaweka chini ya centimeter. What about 510 cubic centimeter? How many liters will it be? So unajiuliza hapo. So you cross multiply. Toka 1 times 510 inaenda chini, divided by 1,000. So it will be 1 liter times 510 cubic centimeter divided by 1,000 cubic centimeter. So hii na hii na cancel. 510 divided by 1,000 itakuwa ni 0.51 liter. So itakuwa ni 0.51 liter. So the answer is A. So 510 divided by 1,000, you'll see the answer is 0.51 liter. So the answer is A. Very easy. You continue to number 12 also. The temperature of a liquid was recorded as negative 15 Kelvin. Took the following calculations, gives the correct temperature in degrees Celsius. So very, very easy. So remember, anytime you're converting degrees Celsius to the SI unit of temperature, which is Kelvin, we add 273. So to convert from degrees Celsius to Kelvin, we add 273. To convert back from Kelvin to degrees Celsius, we subtract. So we subtract 273. So very, very simple. So you'll say that degrees Celsius, we want in degrees Celsius. So the degree Celsius will be, we subtract, it is negative 15 Kelvin, negative 15 Kelvin minus, we subtract 273. So the answer is D. The answer is D. So number 12, the correct option is D. Number 13, the following table shows the mobile money transaction charges for mobile service provider. We have transaction, sending, and kutoa, withdrawal. Lima had 4,000 in his mobile money account. He sent 1,500 to his sister and then withdrew 800 shillings. How much money did Loima remain with in his mobile account? Hii najua unajua mambo ya pesa ni rahisi sana. So akona 4,000 akatumia sister yake ngapi? 1,500. So kutuma si free. So kwanza tuone pesa ametumia. So 1,500 akatumia sister yake na kuna transaction unakuja hapa. Transaction between 1,500 italai wapi? Iko hapa. So kutuma unakuja kwa sending. So kutuma 1,500 inakatwa pesa ngapi? Unakatwa na Safaricom 30 bob. So we add 30 here. So itakuwa ni 1530. Alikuwa na 4,000, so what is the remainder? So the remaining amount itakuwa 4,000 minus 1530 minus 1530. So 4,000 minus 1530. Hii ndio balance yake kwa simu. So ako na 2470. Akaenda akatoa pesa, anunue kitu, so ametoa pesa ngapi? 800. So kuja hapa kwa transaction range, tafuta 800 iko wapi? Iko between here, 500 and 1,000. So unakuja hapa. So ametoa, so tutumie sending, tunatumia withdrawal. So atakata pesa ngapi? 28. So it is 800 plus 28. Hii ndio cost ya hiyo. So itakuwa ni 828. Na alikuwa na 2470. So to get the balance, very easy. It is 2470 minus 828. I hope you can see tumetoa wapi 828. So 2470 minus 828 anabaki na nini? So balance yake kwa simu ni 1642. 1,642 Kenyan shillings. So the answer is A. Hiyo ni rahisi sana. Number 14. Number 14. Salome estimated the height of a window to be 1.5 meters. She measured it and found that the actual height was 1.2 meters. Which of the following calculations gives the percentage error in her estimation? Another very, very simple. So percentage error will be, it is the error itself over the actual multiply by 100. That is percentage error. It is a percentage increase. It is the increase over the original times 100. So percentage error, it is the error of the actual times 100. What is the error? I'll estimate to be 1.5. Lakini kupima ni 1.2. So error ni nini? Na subtract hizo mbili. So the error will be 1.5 minus 1.2. So it is 1.5 minus 1.2 over the actual ni 1.2. The actual measurement after nepima it is 1.2 times 100. I hope you are following. Let me know that you are following by liking this video. Thank you so much. I can see you are following, Jalala. 1.5 minus 1.2 is 0.3 over actual 1.2 times 100. That is the formula for calculating the percentage error. So when you come here, the answer is 0.3 over 1.2 times 100%. And therefore for number 14, our answer is B. Watu wanasema TikTok maths ilikuwa ngumu. Hii ni ngumu hapa sasa. Very, very easy. Number 15, we continue. The following are properties of a quadrilateral. Number 1, opposite sides are equal and parallel. Number 2, diagonal bisects at 90. Opposite angles are equal. What is the name of the quadrilateral? Anytime you hear that diagonals bisect at 90 degrees, then it is a rhombus. So the 15 answer is D. Straightforward. So hiyo ni rhombus. Number 16. Numbers zionekani lakini nitakusomea. Hii sasa tuko 16. The scale of an architectural drawing was 1:100. A wall constructed using the drawing was 3 meters long. What was the length of the wall on the drawing? Very, very simple. So I'm going to teach you. So when you see 1:100, this is a scale in a ratio form. Inamaanisha aje? Tunaanza na kwa map, then we go to the actual or kwa ground. Hapa ni kwa map and then actual. Remember, in ratio, the scale is in centimeter. Inamaanisha aje? You can write this in statement form. 1 centimeter on the map represent 100 centimeter on the ground, or the actual is 100 centimeter. So you want all constructed using the drawing was 3 meters long. So in 3 meters long, what was the length of the wall on the drawing? That's our drawing. So you need the actual. So remember, the units are in centimeter. You can convert this 3 meters into centimeter. Unajua, multiplied by 100. Inakuwa ngapi? 300. So what about 300 centimeter? What will be the length on the drawing? So what will be the length on the drawing? Tumesema hapa ni map na ni actual. So cross multiply, itakuwa 1 times 300. I know you know over inaenda chini na divide by 100. So 0 ina cancel, tunabaki na 1 times 3 is 3. And therefore the answer is 3 centimeter. For number 16, the answer is B. Simple. Number 17. Owino drew a straight line L1. The equation of line L1 is 2y is equals to x plus 3. A line L2 is perpendicular to L1. What is the gradient of L2? So kazi yetu tuko na line L1. Inakaa aje? It is 2y is equals to x plus 3. Our work is to get the gradient of this line. So tunafuata aje? Tunaandika this line, the equation in the form y is equals to mx plus c. This is the general equation of a straight line. So tupange on the left tubaki in y, on the right tubaki in hizi vitu zingine. So you can see we have 2y is equals to x plus 3. Here tutaki 2y, tunataka y. So what do? We divide by 2, everything by 2 by 2. So here we remain with y is equals to x over 2, or you can say a half x. So x over 2, which is a half x plus 3 over 2. What is the gradient? Gradient, so it's a m1, yeah, gradient of this line. Remember, we say gradient is the number in front of x, the coefficient of x. So unakuja kwa namba yenye iko na x hapo on the right, hiyo namba iko hapo mbele, that is the gradient. So unakuja hapa, hii niko mbele x ni 1 over 2. So this is the gradient. So m1 is 1 over 2. Nataka another line L2 is perpendicular to L1. Very, very simple. So you can see perpendicular lines. Anytime we hear parallel lines, the gradients are the same. Perpendicular lines, we say m1 times m2 is equals to -1. So m1 tuko na hiyo 1 over 2 times m2 hatuna ndo tunaulizwa is equals to -1. So tufanye hiyo. So tutafanya hadi kufika hapo. You want m2. So here we have a half. Tuandike vizuri ndo uone. So it is a half times m2 is equals to -1. Taka tubaki na m2. This is a fraction. We can multiply by 2 over 1 times 2 over 1. Pia huku times 2 over 1. So m2 itakuwa ni nini? Itakuwa ni -1 times 2 over 1. So m2 itakuwa ni -1 times 2. It is -2 over 1, which is -2. Therefore, the gradient of the second line is -2. For number 17, the answer is C. So anytime unaambiwa perpendicular lines, remember m1 times m2 is equals to -1. Ukiambiwa parallel lines, parallel, m1 is equals to m2. Gradients are the same. Make sure you cram this and understand it. Number 18, we continue. A photograph was enlarged to twice its original size. The original photograph had a length of 16 centimeter. What was the new length of the photograph? Sasa hii ni kitu rahisi sana. Naambiwa enlarge twice, mara mbili. Kama ilikuwa 2 centimeter, enlarge mara mbili itakuwa ngapi? 4 centimeter. So naambiwa the original photograph had a length of 16. What was the new length of the photograph? Na enlarge mara mbili. So itakuwa ni 16 times 2, which is 32. Watu wanasema maths ilikuwa ngumu. You don't see any difficulty. Very, very easy. Ama unaona aje? Let me know in the comment section. Number 19. The following figure shows an object in the shape of a triangle ABC. Kitu ingine rahisi ndio hii. It's a protractor to determine the size of angle ABC. So kwa nakuja katikati hapa ABC. So tunamesha angle B. So ABC ni hapa. To be honest, sijamesha kwa protractor. Kuna hii paper, put it here and do this angle, and then come and select a correct option. Number 20. The letters of the word elementator were written on cards. Each letter was on its own card. The cards were placed in a bucket. Aisha picked a card from the bucket at random. What is the probability that Aisha picked a card with letter E? Probability of picking as the E sasa. Very simple. Nahesabu tuko na E ngapi hapa? Hapa tuko na 1, 2, 3. So tuko na E's kwa 3. Over total letters ni ngapi? Hesabu zote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is 3 over 11. Simple. Sini simple. So the answer is C. Ukiambiwa, for example, probability ni rahisi. We have 4 boys and 6 girls in a class. Mtu amechagua mtu mmoja. Probability of picking a girl itakuwa nini? How many girls do we have? Ni 6 over total. Una add 6 plus 4, 10. Probability ni rahisi. And therefore number 20, E ni ngapi? 3 over total ni 11. So number 20, the answer is 3 over 11. You're done with section A. Thank you so much for following along. Don't want this video to be long, and therefore kindly allow me to stop there so that we can continue in the next video. We're going to do section B very soon. Don't forget to like this video if at all you're learning something new and also you're revising. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.